Welcome to the Sailor Noob podcast, where a superfan and a noob talk about the original Sailor Moon episode by episode. I'm your host, Mika and Hana, joined by my co-host.
I'm Caliban. I'm sorry if I'm not straightforward. I can say it in my dreams.
We're a couple of magical people ready to moon, prison, power, make up this episode. Sailor Noob is a part of the Just Enough Trope Network. So on today's episode, we are talking about episode number 5, or Yoma no Kaori Shinera wa Ai no Nusume in Japanese, or Scent of a Monster, Chanela Will Steal Your Love, the English translation.
Wow.
And no English title because this episode was not included in the original Deke dub.
Yeah, which I think I might know why, but I guess we'll talk about it as we get into it.
Okay.
Once again, these English titles are... Is Al Pacino big in Japan?
I don't know the answer to that.
You know how, like, stars go over there? Like, Nick Cage has a
Yes.
whole, like, running... I think he probably still does. He has to now because he didn't have any money. But like the pachinko commercials and the whole thing parodied, I think, pretty well in Lost in Translation.
I was just thinking about that.
Bill Murray's
yes.
character is doing commercials, but I can imagine like Al Pacino going over there and doing kind of like how he does the Dunkin' Donuts commercial in Jack and Jill, which is a joke. But I can see him doing that kind of thing in Japan.
For real,
you know?
in Japan.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. I think a lot of stars do that. So.
Konbanwa! You know, something like that.
There was a series of Donald Sutherland when
Oh man, I love it already.
Wait, not Donald Sutherland, Kiefer Sutherland.
Okay, yeah.
When 24 was really big, it was like an energy drink, and he was like stuck on a train, and there were all of these like high school girls in their uniforms, and they kept trying to stop him, and he kept trying to get through this madness of these young high school kids.
Did he do the CalorieMate ones too, or
I think you're right.
Yeah, because I think they were like, you know, it's the thing where go go go, and like a chopper comes down, and the police run out with like batons, and
yes,
because they're attack baton chopper troops. You know, you don't want to have guns in a commercial. Also, they don't really have guns anyway. But
yeah, right, exactly.
Like, Chloe, I need those CalorieMates. We're out of time. CalorieMate gets me through a whole day, all 24 hours of it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So do you want to go through like a quick synopsis?
I think I can.
Okay.
It's pretty basic. It's a typical dystopian day in this horror town, Tokyo.
Yeah.
Where every rock, every tree, there's a demon behind it, or there's some horrible pleasure that you love to partake in, and it's just going to end your life, and it's terrible. But this time around, the Usagi family is what's her last name?
Tsukino.
Tsukino, that's right. Yeah, Tsukino family is considering getting a pet, and her brother Shingo, Usagi's brother, doesn't like cats. We get that set up,
and they have Luna already.
Haven't heard about that until now, but now
exactly.
we know. I knew I didn't like him for some reason, and so they go. He ends up at a pet store, and there are these new pets called Chanelas.
Yes.
Which are like these little kind of it's like cross a rabbit with like a one of those floor duster dogs. You know, they look like the end of a Swifter.
Yes,
like
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
But they smell wonderful. The pet shop's called Pet Shop Perfume, and they smell really great. And there's some, you know, like middle-aged woman in a pencil skirt running the place that you know is like the bad guy,
of
right?
Course.
Because she's like, oh, the pet's right over here. Like, why is the lady who owns a pet store laughing so diabolically? And Shingo picks out one. He really likes it, but we can tell its eyes glow or something. It's got some kind of effect on him.
Yes.
He takes it home. In the meantime, we're running around doing other stuff with Usagi. And Luna is trying to ingratiate herself with Shingo if she's going to stay at the house. But that causes some trouble. And we figure out that Shingo got a real problem. Usagi like sneaks into his room to see what's up. And he's just staring at this thing and it's glowing. And that seems suspicious. So Usagi goes to the pet shop to figure out what's happening with that. all the kids who have received one of these pets, who, by the way, are just walking out of school. They're just walking out of school.
Well,
More
yes.
important than school is their little Chanelas. Now they're all like part of the Chanela army, and the pet shop lady is ordering them around.
Yes.
Usagi steps in, as Sailor Moon, and they basically, she orders them to attack. So now she's got like this lizard army of children coming after her. Yes. The main bad guy is a big lizard type person too. Yada yada yada. We work it out. She triumphs, and then as she's leaving, Shingo wants her autograph, and she makes him promise to be nice to Luna.
Yes.
And so at the end of the episode, he's feeding Luna ham, and everybody's happy.
Exactly. He actually mistakes her for Sailor V.
I thought we were saving that for later.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, we can talk about it now.
Okay. Yeah.
What? He thinks that she's Sailor V.
I know.
So
brand confusion.
I'm not crazy.
Oh, no, you're not.
Something is going on here. So
but
when
she
is
does
this?
correct him.
She does correct him. And he's like, actually, I don't really care. You're hot and you're cute, so I just want that autograph.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I think it's a kind of a nice touch.
That is a mystery to me, though. I don't understand I still don't get it.
Well, I think it will continue to unfold.
You are terrible at giving hints that aren't spoilers.
Well,
so I was just asking the listeners. I was trying to share with them.
All right.
Now you can talk to me again.
All right. What do you think are some reasons why this episode might have been cut?
Shingo kicks a cat.
Yes,
one
of my
reasons.
And
then we
reasons
play it
as
again.
Well.
Like I said, I knew I didn't like him. Other than that, it's maybe a little too much child violence. When all the kids bring their Chanelas into school, there's a great scene where they're all looking at him. Shingo has decided to stay home, but everybody else just brought theirs, which, come on, Shingo.
And they hid them in their desk.
Yeah, so as soon as Miss Haruka comes in, they're like, oh, quick, put him away, and they put him away. And she's like, well, and I thought for sure, she's going to have one too, but we did that.
I did too.
We did that last episode. So.
Yeah, I know, right?
Okay, class, open your books and everything, and then one of the girls is like, I gotta look at my Chanela.
I know.
It just gets it out, and everybody gets theirs out, and then she basically slaps Miss Haruka down to the ground.
Yeah.
So I think there was a little too much. It was a little too real, a little too imitative in terms of the violence.
Well, and that was what I was going to say as well. The kicking of Luna and the pushing of the teacher. It's too much. It's a little too violent.
Yeah.
We don't want kids mimicking this behavior, sort of thing.
Yeah. And then there was a totally random scene where Luna. I can't remember. Oh, that's right. She goes by a pet shop. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's the pet shop, but it's a pet shop. And she sees a kitten licking somebody's hand. And the person's like, oh, it's so cute. It's licking my hand. She's like, that's my move. I'm going to lick people from now on. So she licks Shingo. That doesn't work out.
No.
But then later on, like a very young girl, with a tricycle rides by and eats it off of her tricycle. And then Luna licks her face and she's like, oh.
I know.
And moving on. We don't get anything else out of that.
That's a really good point. Luna learns that, some people are really receptive to this and some people aren't.
Yeah. Maybe she learned to, keep doing it. Just keep
Be
doing
consistent.
It. Yeah. Don't let the one time that it failed not help you out. I should also mention that Shingo is led to the pet store, not in a Pied Piper kind of way, but by a classmate and friend that we haven't met before, named Mika.
I know. I'm not named after her.
I have no affiliation.
But she seems pretty cool. So I'm cool with being associated with her, I guess.
Yeah.
We do learn to, in a little brief scene with Usagi when she's talking to Naru, that Shingo does not like cats because one bit him on the nose when he was a little kid.
Right.
And that is why. So.
And then we get a weird bit with Umino where he talks about being bitten by an alligator, and everyone's like, what are you talking about?
I know.
And then
where were you when this happened?
We discover that his mom had an alligator bag
that
right closed on him or something.
Yes.
And so it's like, is that what it was? He's like, yeah, well. And
it's like, Umino, you're pretty smart. How could you be that dumb?
Well, he's smart. Head smart.
Oh,
it's not heart smart.
Good point. That is very valid. So shall we get into our segments here?
Sure.
So our first segment is Kyoro Miru, curiously looking around when we look at Japanese culture. So I thought we would talk a little bit about pet stores in Japan.
Yeah.
Which, unfortunately, is a little depressing, to say the least.
All right.
So they have a lot of common pets like we have over here, like, birds, cats, dogs, that sort of thing. But they also there are pets available in pet stores that are more exotic, like goats, baby chickens, owls, otters, monkeys, penguins, kangaroos, sloths, toucans, badgers, meerkats, white squirrels, regular squirrels, chipmunks, horned beetles, which are apparently really popular, emus, and mini pigs.
Emus?
Yeah.
Okay. Is this, just to connect this to another anime, is this like the scene in the 4th episode of Cowboy Bebop where they go to the pet store? That's the one where they introduce Ein, the super dog.
Oh, yeah.
And the lady who runs the pet store is like, "Oh, I'll get you whatever you want. I got this. I got elephants. I got giraffes." It's like, what?
Maybe a little bit, and there is so a lot of these animals are available at many different stores, but there is a particular pet store in Japan that is very notorious for having exotic animals.
Great.
And it is called NOAA, which stands for Nature Oriented Animal House, but probably always also Noah's Ark, obviously.
Yeah, well.
And it's called it's semicolon the Inner City Zoo in Yokohama. So it's in Yokohama, which is just outside of Tokyo.
Yeah.
And to just go into this pet shop, there is a cover fee. Okay. You pay $6 just to look at the animals.
I can see it.
And a lot of the animals that they have are very exotic and are, over $1,000. And, there are people within Japan who, do not like this pet store, and people outside of Japan as well who are like, this is not great, But you go to other pet stores and it's just like, it just seems like they're overcrowded and there's lots of animals there and you're like, should this really be a pet, So it's a little bit depressing, but I thought we could talk about that a little bit. So any thoughts on that, Cal?
It sounds like a zoo.
Yeah, I know, right?
I mean, I don't know how zoos work there, but do they have? If you can just get a zoo license, if that's a thing,
yeah,
then that's what it is. It's just a zoo where you can buy the animals.
Well, that is that is.
I'm not
true.
saying it's not problematic, but
right. I think the zoos are also very depressing. I went to one in Kyoto, and it was one of the most depressing things I think I've ever seen in my entire life.
Well, I haven't been to a foreign zoo, but I find a lot of American zoos depressing.
Yeah, I mean, they are kind of depressing just because they don't have a lot of space to walk around and everything. So.
I know the arguments for them, and I know, the arguments against them, I guess, but it just seems like, we got drones. I mean, I can see a giraffe living
in
where
Africa.
he wants to in Africa.
Right.
I would have to see one up close, but
that's true.
And then, every week there's a story out of Florida about some lady twerking in the lion enclosure.
Oh, yeah.
This is a real story.
Yeah. Well,
and I love how the zookeepers were like, I'm impressed. That's pretty brave. So, I mean, let's keep it outside the enclosure.
Yeah.
Keep your twerks at home.
I agree. So our next segment is Itadakimasu with Usagi. So what did Usagi eat in this episode? She has breakfast with her family at the beginning.
I noticed this. At the beginning, Mom was pouring a black liquid, so they're drinking coffee.
Oh, yeah.
In the afternoon, it was brown, they're having tea.
Yes, I was going to mention they had tea.
Is the tea and the tea cakes thing that we associate with, Western Europe and England, is that something they do in Japan, too? She was having a little jelly Dodger, Jammy Dodger cookie.
I mean, I guess I never thought about it before, but kind of, because it's not necessarily hot tea. I mean, I guess when I visited, it was a lot of the time it was summer. So, it would be a cold tea and then some fruit, because fruit is actually kind of a delicacy in a lot of ways because it tends to be more expensive over there because they have to import a lot of it.
Sure.
So, that would be a snack after school. So, I mean, they didn't exactly call it tea, but I guess that is kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
It's not exactly high tea, but.
Yeah, and this is a culture thing too. You ran out of the culture segment before I got to say that.
I'm sorry.
I don't know if we've seen this before, but it was highlighted this time around that the I've already forgot their last names.
Tsukino.
Tsukinos live in a gated house. They have a 2-story house with a gate and a garage and stuff like that. Which, I mean, it's in the middle of the city. I don't know how the zoning works or whatever, but it seems to indicate that they're doing pretty well. This isn't like a high rise.
Yes.
This isn't, and it's a very traditional house. It's not like rooms, with sliding doors and stuff like that. Like, they live in it seems like a Japanese person, animator was like, I'll give her just a Western house. Like, it just seems like, a house from an American sitcom or something.
I guess I can see what
I'm
you're
not saying
saying.
those houses don't exist over there.
I think they totally do.
They make a big point. She walks to school, so they make a big point out of she must live
close
in the city.
Yes. So
having a house like that in the city with a big yard and walled in and a gate, that just seems like they're doing okay.
I think they are doing okay.
This
I think that is what they're trying to say.
Economy Watch.
Yes. And Dad must be doing well because he's able to eat breakfast with them and does some shopping on his way home. Yeah, I know. So it's impressive. Dad must be doing pretty well.
He's the boss. He's the owner
He's
of
gotta
wherever
be,
he works.
Right?
Yeah.
I think so too. So
did you? I don't know. I never know where if you're coming or going. But were we going to talk about people owning pets in Japan at all?
Oh yeah, we can totally talk about that.
Because that is at the core of what's happening here. I mean, I think the family's been introduced to Luna as a cat that follows Usagi around, is friends with her.
Yes.
And now they're actually thinking about her being a pet.
Yes.
Which we know that Luna is very dedicated to her job, looking for the Moon Princess?
Yes, that reminds me. I wanted to mention that.
Well, you wanted to ruin that for me, huh?
No. This is the very first time that the Moon Princess is mentioned.
I know, yeah. So anyway, that's what she's up to. But in the meantime, she's also just sleeping on the floor. And so I like how they kind of missed a chance at a good joke when they're talking about, maybe we should get her shots and stuff like that, because you think about it, she's a magical talking cat, but if she has to live this Clark Kent life as a house pet,
that's a good
there's
point.
a lot of indignities that she'll have to put up with. Does she poop?
I'm sure she does. We don't see
She's magical. We don't know.
Well,
she does eat ham, though. And I like how
especially if Shingo feeds it to her.
As she's going around and doing the work of a crime fighter or whatever she is.
Yeah.
She's doing that, and of course Usagi's just living her life, and so she's like, "Where you been?" And Luna's like, "Oh, I've been busy with work." She's like, "Chasing a mouse?"
Yeah, I know, right? And she's the one, she was at the pet store before Usagi was.
Oh yeah, she's got it all figured out.
She's such a good detective, and I don't know that she ever gets credit for that, but she totally should.
Yeah, and as trying to make her a house pet is what causes all the problems with the family in this episode.
Right.
So I like at one point she's just like, I don't need to be a house pet. I can just keep sleeping on the roof. Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
So anyway, that was my little thing about that.
Yes.
How would you describe Just Enough Trope? We are the Just Enough Trope podcast. I'm your host, Caliban, joined as always by my co-host.
Hi, I'm Mika and Hannah.
Oh no, does this mean they can hear all the things I yell at the TV during Downton Abbey?
Why did you do that?
How do you plead?
Let the game begin. Yeah, check these fresh moves. Oh!
Don't shoot man in face.
This isn't the Save Gotham fundraiser.
It's the Chill Family Reunion.
Master Yoda assigned a Padawan to this bold Jedi.
I think it's pronounced Padawan.
Oh, Padawan, excuse me.
Hey, it's getting late. I think Ralph's going to want his motorcycle back.
Go jerk off the pictures of Dean Gray.
I am freaking getting old.
Yeah, I noticed the life clock was blinking in your hand.
Get out of here, Wilson. Go fight the Teen Titans or something.
I'm unkillable, not unwoundable.
You like Sailor Moon, right? Why don't you sail on this
Wow.
Just Enough Trope. News, reviews, and geek fondue. Every Monday on the Just Enough Trope podcast network.
Loving me never have a say you sorry.
What? So my heart is a kaleidoscope. We talk about fashion on this episode. There wasn't a whole lot. I'm going to talk about the aqua dress that's kind of almost off the shoulders that Iguera, the Yoma, her monster war.
Right.
While she was in her human form.
Yeah.
That's about as crazy as we got this episode, which is not super crazy.
Yeah, that's true. A mask is a form of clothing, and Tuxedo Mask appears in this episode only in dreams in the beginning.
Yes. She's dreaming about him an awful lot. Mm-hmm. And you're right, he did not show up to help save her at the end. So I don't know if he was busy with something else or what.
Yeah. I was thinking about it. This show, well, first of all, like we said before, I know why the show probably didn't air, and it's because of the involvement of danger of violence in children.
Yes.
It reminds me of that Human Giant sketch where they wanted to do Lil 9/11.
Oh, no.
And it was like a cute version of 9/11. And so they had the little kid playing George Bush. Osama, come out and play, right? And something goes, oh, that's right. They had, and then the guy that plays Osama bin Laden had his like knee cap broken by somebody else, So he's rolling around on the ground. It's like, we need a replacement Osama. And the director's like, I think I see this as a sign that we should do this movie with adult actors playing adult characters. Like, this is please fire me. Like, this is a terrible idea.
Yeah.
That's the feeling I get about some of these plots sometimes. It's one thing if you've got a jewelry shop and there's old ladies, and okay, you get a couple teens in there, but this is crazy.
I know.
The second thought I had about the show is, this is a prepubescent Greatest American Hero. Isn't it?
You think so?
Yes. She gets these powers, believe it or not. She doesn't know how they work. She learns a new power in this episode.
She does.
And she's just clueless. And then she's got I guess Luna is the Robert Culp character who's like telling her what to do, trying to keep her on track and everything. But yeah, it's just like, it reminded me of the Greatest American Hero.
Oh, I guess I could kind of see that.
Played by William Cat.
Cat.
If you want to up your Patreon pledge after this, I totally understand.
Well, yeah, I also wanted to mention, just as you said, her new power. She does Moon Tiara Stardust for the first time in this episode. And it is because Luna tells her to do Moon Tiara action with the kids in the pet shop. And
which
she was
Luna,
like,
bloodthirsty, a little bloodthirsty.
Right? And like, Usagi's like, no, I don't want to hurt Shingo. And then Luna's like, oh, okay.
Oh, right.
Use this one.
Human
then.
feelings. Okay, sure.
I know. Like,
even though you smacked the taste out of his mouth in the scene before. Remember that? She's like, Shingo, snap out of it. And she just hauls off and smacks him. So, yeah, this is not going to be on Cartoon Network.
Yes, that was another thing I wanted to mention, too. Yes, thank you. So why don't we talk about the villain in this? Do our villain gauge, rate a baddie, 1 to 5 dark stars, 5 being the most wicked. In this episode, the baddie was named Iguara, probably as like a different take on iguana, I'm thinking, because she turns into a lizard. Yeah. What did you think, Cal?
So I'm just getting this information now. 5 is most wicked. It's a scale of wickedness.
Yes.
Oh.
Well, it's like...
That's going to affect my rating.
Is it? Does that change it?
Well, let's look at what we've got with Iguana.
Iguara.
Whatever.
I know.
She full on turns into a were lizard.
I know.
Which is pretty sweet. With lizard boobs, which doesn't make any sense.
Yep.
But
that
maybe
is correct.
these are just demons who are taking the form of things that are meant to scare you and don't have any biological function.
Yes.
She's got a really dumb weak spot.
Yeah, her tail.
It's almost like we spent so much time on the Chanelas and everything else. We just got to get out of this episode now. And so we just get out of there real fast. That points off for that. But she has, her tail is a very powerful attack. I think she's got a good plan. At the beginning of the episode, they kind of set up that like humans love all kinds of dumb things, and we can turn that desire into, the energy that we need.
Yes.
So it's diabolical. Plus, it's super wicked that she's using these children as her dealers, basically. Like, she's the supplier. She's the Avon Barksdale, and she's sending Wallace and Poot and everybody else out with these Chanelas to do their thing. And I just got that. It's Chanel. I just got that.
Yeah.
I was like, Chan? Is it like that they're...
Like Jackie Chan or
No,
something?
isn't Chan something? Your friend always calls you Channy Chan.
Oh, Chani Chan. Yeah, it's a diminutive. It's like you're cute.
Yeah. So I thought maybe it was that. But no, it's just Chanel.
I think you're right.
All right. Anyway, and she has got a cool transformation. She just tears out of her clothes and her flesh and turns into this thing.
Yes.
So I'm gonna give her 4.
Okay.
Yeah, but like I said, we made a couple mistakes. Maybe kids aren't the street army that you need out there. Also, pet shop overly elaborate because the second phase is just give these to people. She's just giving them to kids. Just start handing these things out.
Right.
Why didn't you just start with that?
I know.
And then what happens to the cute little fuzzies? They disappear. It's not their fault.
It's not clear.
Were
what
they
happens.
evil?
Well,
Are we rating them as monsters too? They're all dead.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I know.
I have a feeling we'll never deal with this ever again.
I have a feeling you are correct.
So yeah, 4 dark stars out of 5. I gotta go high.
Okay.
The wickedness turned me around.
Okay. Well, I'm thinking maybe I need to change mine now too, because I had her at a 2, but maybe I'm gonna go back up to a 3. I think she's very scary looking, but she's not actually all that terrifying in reality. But you mentioning how she was using the kids and working the kids, that's
I
pretty
just
bad.
feel like anybody could have 6-inch fangs or breathe fire or something, and we're just gonna moon tiara action, and that's the end of that. But like, what
That's true.
effect can she have on this society of this horrible, beleaguered society of Tokyo that Sailor Moon's trying to protect? We also, I don't know if we mentioned this before, but you've got a character named Queen Beryl who sits on a throne.
Yes.
And she's talking about a great ruler that they serve. So who is this? This is adding more world building here for the future. So
Yes, absolutely.
So yeah, I guess I went pretty high. Yeah, 4 out of 5.
Okay, that's fine. And we're up to our episode rating, which is 1 out of 5 roses. And also our English title for the episode. So what do you think, Cal?
I'm probably gonna have to give it 3 thrown roses out of 5. I know I just talked up a lot of elements. I thought the elements were strong. The episode itself was, I just kind of like another solid entry.
Yeah.
Not really game changing.
Yes.
We're still at the beginning here.
Very much so.
It's a lot of road being laid. So as far as that goes, I don't want to say. I'm looking forward to the heights that I'm guessing this show will reach. So maybe this would have been a 4 out of the gate, but I'm kind of chomping at the bit here. So it's a 3.
Yeah.
Let's get moving here.
I get it. And I actually completely agree with you. I also gave it a 3. And what did you want your English episode title to be for this episode?
Boy. Naughty boy kicking cat. God is always eyesing you.
Oh my gosh. Fantastic. Mine is Chanela Love, Hypnotized Destruction. Next episode, we are talking about episode number 6, Momori Koi no Melody Usagi wa Cupido in Japanese, or Project the Melody of Love, Usagi Plays Cupid, the English translation. And the English title not included because, again, it was not in the original Deke dub.
Really?
Yes.
How did they...
2 episodes in a row.
There's so much... Okay. All right. I believe you.
Yes. So, that is our show for this week. In the name of the moon, we'll be punishing you next week with another episode of Sailor Noob.
The heart is a kaleidoscope.